Good evening. I'm Bob Hall, Executive Director of Democracy North Carolina. You've heard a lot of criticism about this public hearing process, how disrespectful it is to the public. You also didn't give us public maps, the maps that were for the public to see. And you didn't give us the data until very late. Also very disrespectful. And you didn't give us the registration of the voters in these districts or the race of the voters. You said you were not going to look at the race of the voters in drawing the maps as though that would protect you from being accused of drawing racially biased districts. But it's clear that the practice has continued. You've heard illustrations here, named districts, House District 57 and Senate Districts 21 and 28, where you're packing more African Americans into the districts. Because of your fetish for protecting elephants, you voted to use partisan election outcomes. That was your priority. Partisan election outcomes to protect incumbents, to draw the new maps to protect incumbents. And so many of these districts are rigged to make them less competitive than they are now. In a few cases, your eagerness has even pushed you beyond the state constitution. And you've heard that in drawing districts that are not ordered, you don't need to redraw these districts, that you're violating the state constitution ban against causing redistricting in the middle of the decade. The bottom line is the new maps are partisan gerrymandering in the extreme. And here's two ways to see this. First, over 90% of the new districts are not competitive based on the data that you furnished us here a day or so ago. You look at the 5 statewide elections where candidates won by 2 percentage points. These are very competitive elections. Tillis versus Hagan, Cooper versus McCrory. 5 competitive districts with less than 2% differences. But in most all of the districts, the legislative districts you've drawn, the gap between those candidates is more than 10%. In fact, there's only 15 out of the 170 House and Senate districts where candidates win by less than 10 percentage points in at least 4 of those 5 elections. That is to say, in 155 of the 170 districts, 90%, that's 90% of the districts, you and I know who the winner is going to be. A second way to look at this is in a partisan gerrymandering, through the partisan gerrymandering tool called the efficiency gap. It measures partisan gerrymandering. A plan that has an efficiency gap of over 7% is highly partisan. The Campaign Legal Center, in the last 24 hours, has examined the Senate and the House plans. And they find, looking at those plans, that the efficiency gap is over 11%, illustrating extreme partisan gerrymandering. Please take a look at that and draw new lines. Thank you.
Thank you.